Journal entry for January 2nd, 2026. Still not restored, but I've seen some strange things happen today, so I'm not restored, but and there's still attacks. But let's see. But something, oh shoot, something different is happening. That okay. I was confused for a minute. I was confused because I didn't write down anything for yesterday because I stayed at home and I just wrote some stuff in a text file. So I'm tired. I'm kind of sore. I did a lot of walking. I've been walking almost 10 miles for a few days. And I don't have to do that, but there's things I want to do. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to stay at home when I want to do something just because I don't have a bike. I'll just walk and it takes me 2 or 3 times as long. And then I'm gone all day. So anyways, I did get home and I had more stuff to do. And then I checked my emails. Like after all that happened today, I spent time repairing a bicycle and then checking all my emails. I even got a package shipped. I gotta write this down. My package was shipped, today was a wild day. And how much I got done. It's not, I'll write it back here. Excuse me. Okay, so this is January 2nd, 2026. The soup kitchen was closed for New Year's yesterday. And so this is the first day of the new year. The soup kitchen was open. When I first went, I didn't know it was a mission. Now I know it's a mission. Let's see, maybe I've been going there for more than a month, and just every day there are attacks and tests that take place. And they got me today, but it wasn't a huge deal. It was fine. So anyways, when I went to the soup kitchen, I got up, I got ready, I went to the soup kitchen. I had to walk because my bike is still not fixed, and it's not that easy either. I will talk about that later, but the type of nuts and bolts that are on this vintage Trek tire, they are not normal. It's not like there's just one on each side. There are 3 things or 4 things on each side, and they're not lining up properly, and one of them possibly needs a socket wrench, and then it doesn't even look like it goes on the bike frame. But it does. It's just when I went to put it on. It's much more complicated than I thought it would be, and taking a picture would not have helped this. I thought I laid them out in order. Didn't make a difference, because then I don't know where the frame goes, and it's not fitting properly, the spacing's off, so I don't know. This sucks. Anyways, the solution might be to just put a different tire on it, with new nuts, not the original ones. Okay, so I was at the soup kitchen. I get there, I think I was a few minutes early, and then right as it starts, there's the sermon and stuff, but I think somebody in the audience, the audience, not the audience, one of the people sitting down, waiting for the meal to be served, said, every day gets better. Every day gets better, and I overheard that. As this is 2026, it's supposed to be, I guess this is where we're restored. Yeah, this better fucking be, but it's not going to be October. It's going to be within this next week. That's all I'm going to say. I've had enough of this. Just going to say. Certain things can take longer, like fixing my house. That doesn't have to happen in the next month. But other things need to be fixed. I'm going to just say I'm not filing my taxes this year. I am not filing taxes. I really wanted to boycott this and go like this to the IRS, which is already dead. So now I get to do this because they're already defunct and bankrupt, and they're already dead. But it still looks like they're still playing charades or something. Well, it still looks like the IRS is there, even though they only exist if you want them to, I guess, if you send them your money. So I am not paying any taxes. I am not sending any taxes. And I don't owe any taxes. I made negative money. I am in the, what do they say, in the red? Is that where you lose money? That's where I am. So I don't owe any anyways. But you know what? I'm not going to spend 24 hours going through all my documents and giving myself a heart attack. I can't. I can't anyways. So it's like God is giving me a chance to go like this to the IRS. The Fed has been ended, but you know, it still looks like they're there. And if you want to, you can send them your money. But I am not. And I don't owe them any money anyway. So basically, I'm going to start this video here saying I'm not filing. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going through my records, and then I'm not finding out how much each item I sold cost, and how much the shipping was, and what was returned, and what was lost, and what was stolen, and what I got after fees. I'm not doing that for every single item, and I can't. I can't even do it because my computer for my business that had all my records is broken and not working. So it's impossible to file my taxes. But I lost money, so there you go. You get nothing. I had to do this last year to sign up for charities, and you know what? They did nothing. They didn't help me at all, and I had to file it anyways. At least I didn't pay money to file last year. I just used some free website, but I'm not doing it. And I don't owe any money. I didn't make anything, honestly. Like, I lost more inventory than I made. So I made some money, okay? But I lost more inventory, and like my computer that I used for my business is broken. That's down. So I am in the hole with my business, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyways, went into the soup kitchen, and they're having the sermon. I'm there like a little bit early, and then we're sitting down waiting for the sermon, and someone says every day gets better. This has to do with the new year. And then, so the manager, I think he's the manager at the soup kitchen. It is a paid position. It is his job. His mini sermon today was on Romans 5:3. This is the epistles of Paul. When I first started going, he did like Old Testament. He did like in Psalms and stuff. Now, and I didn't write those down in the beginning. You know, after I went there for a while, I started writing down the sermons. I didn't do it right away. But I actually noticed, like, he had good sermons. He was covering the Old Testament. He was covering other books that were from God. And now, like, it's getting worse and worse as time goes on. And now he's doing Romans. Romans is not from God. Now, the Pharisees taught some truth, but it was truth mixed with a little bit of lies. And since it wasn't divinely inspired, it was subject to misuse and misinterpretation. So anyways, this, I am seeing, like, the more he tries to, like, he is involved, I think that he is behind some of the stuff happening to me. I already know, but I don't know if he is the one paying people directly or sending them as well. There's, you know, and they do it on their own too. They do it on their own. He doesn't want to be licked. Okay. They do it on their own, but they are also sent. So, not all of them do this on their own, but they are sent after me. You can watch the dogs. Okay, that's enough. Reese, go on. Yeah, good boy. Okay. So, he used to cover, like, stuff that was from God, and then slowly gets worse. The more he comes after me, the more he's going into epistles of Paul. God is showing me, this is like how Paul became corrupted. So, if Paul was aware of a prophet and was jealous, tried to shut them down in the beginning. And this was subtle, and it wasn't direct. It was through, like, hiring other people or telling other people to do things. And then the worse, the more he does, then the more he preaches the epistles of Paul and none of the other stuff. So it's directly related. God has shown this to me. The more he tries to just do little things and curse me, the more he tries to curse me, the more he preaches, the more he preaches the epistles of Paul. This is directly correlated. And I notice. I have been following his sermons for more than a month now. But anyways, this verse was about suffering, and suffering produces endurance. So suffering is a good thing. It makes you strong. And this, you see the spiritual warfare? You see this? Cut it out. I need to. Come on. Get. Get. Go on. I pulled this bike in here to show you something I did. And look at this. Spiritual warfare. Can't even make a video in my house. That bike is the worst conditioned bike I've ever seen in my life. It looks good, but it is horrible. No, I got it to work a little bit. Okay, anyways. They kept barking, so I went and brought the bike in. The bike is part of today's video. Anyway, so the sermon in the soup kitchen today was Romans. The more bad things that this manager at the soup kitchen does, the more he preaches epistles of Paul. It's directly correlated. In the beginning, it was stuff from God, and then really the last week or so, it's like more and more epistles of Paul. But actually, this time he's talking about suffering produces endurance, and he was saying how things that happened to him 15 or 20 years ago prepared him, and then he understood like why he went through it. And so things that happened 20 years ago prepared him for his life today. And he said that if you have a lot of suffering, then God has big plans for your life. These messages are for me. Because they try to get me every day. And they try to get the bikeman too now, apparently. Unless he's lying, but actually, I don't think so. Let's see, so also during the sermon, he mentioned a few things. Like, you know, how the weather went from 19 degrees to 56 degrees the next day. So it was like 56 one day and 19 the next. Yeah. And I know when this happened. It was an attack on me. It was weather weapons. But anyways, he mentioned, this is something I forgot to put in my video a couple days ago. He mentioned something about everybody's got a gun now. So this was 2 days ago in a sermon. He mentioned everybody's got a gun now. So I think this was after he had my address. I gave him my address. If you go on my front porch, then I've got one of those signs. This is, like, don't worry about the dogs, beware of the owner. And it's a picture of a gun pointing right at you. So basically, it lets people know when they come onto my porch that I have guns. And I do have guns, but I didn't buy that. That was already here, pre-installed. I mean, already duct taped to the window when I bought this house. So I just left it there. It's great. I like it. I never would have purchased it. I mean, maybe because I'm a little cheapskate. But now, knowing the reaction I get from that sign, I would buy one. I actually would buy one now because of how people are afraid of that sign. They're afraid. yes, I do have a gun, so it doesn't matter. I've got more than one gun. And it doesn't matter that sign is there or not. It doesn't matter, that was already there. Because when I moved in, I brought my guns with me. And so you can be aware of that. But it doesn't matter. I don't need to use them. God protects me. I don't need a gun at all. But that sign, it just, it scares people away. Anyways, a couple days ago, the manager had his sermon mentioning how everybody's got a gun now. And then, like, it could be your last day, judgment tomorrow. Everybody's got a gun now. And saying about how you can get angry. Well, right after I told him my address to sign up to get the free bicycle, which takes a couple weeks, apparently, he got my address. And then, I think the next sermon, he mentioned everybody's got a gun now. And so maybe he got my address, then sent somebody to come to my house, and then they would have seen right there, this is my front porch, in that window is the sign with the gun on it. So I think this is like a warning to me and to others that everyone has a gun. It's their last day to get me. Apparently, they're still getting me. They're still trying to get me, actually. But anyways, they thought it might be their last day to get me. Maybe their last day to successfully get me. I don't know. But it was mentioned everyone has a gun right after he found my address. And there's that sign right there on my front porch that says I have a gun. And that's a warning for them that I have a gun. And it's a warning for me that he knows where I live. I don't care. God protects me. Anyways, so as I was, oh shoot, there's more here. There's more here. Well, let me write, let's see what happened here. Okay, so I was like eating the food and stuff. The bikeman was there, and he came. He's been coming there like the last week or so. He never came until recently. Now, God, there was messages about God sending a helper. I believe that this is a helper that God has sent for me, someone to help me, but also like that doesn't mean it's just like more trouble too. Like I'm just gonna say, but it's actually somebody that's not trying to get me. Anyways, he was there as I was coming in, and he said he had more than one bike, and see that blue bike back there, and he said he'd sell it to me for $7.50, and I didn't have money now, and he said he didn't need the money right now because he has a lot of bikes, so and then he was just gonna give it to me. No, her paws are all wet. So I was really happy because that bike looks good. Like standing in front of the door and looking down at the bike rack, that looked like a nice bike. I'm like, oh yeah, I might like that more than my other bike that's not working. No, it looks nice from a distance. It sucks. But anyways, I'm probably gonna ride this tomorrow morning. So then there were spies like listening and watching, so he was gonna give me the bike, and then he just said something like, do you go to the library? It's better to do this at the library, because there were spies spying on us. I understood this, so I'm like, yeah. And so then I was gonna meet him at the library. So there was the man who said nasty when I blew my nose. He was at a table behind me, and he's kind of looking. They all spy on me. And they're kind of spying on this new guy, too. But, yeah, they all spy on me. And anyone that helps me gets targeted. It's probably not for who he is, but if they see him trying to help me, and then he gets cursed. That's what I was mentioning in the last video. So, So the one man that called me nasty, and like every time I blow my nose, he like throws a baby tantrum. And this is like a middle-aged black man, okay? A middle-aged, and he's like all grumpy, and he's like, nasty, some people are just nasty. And he's like trying to get me to stop blowing. My nose kept going like crazy, so I think this was witchcraft. Like they did spells on me and like did something to my sinuses to where I was blowing my nose like non-stop for a month. well, a few weeks. It's still stuffy, but it's a little better. I got really sick, and now I'm not sneezing quite as much. Let's see. But anyways, he was like at the table behind and a few seats over, and I could see he was just like looking. He was spying a little bit, not like the whole time, not intensely, but I saw him spying. He was watching, and he kind of like softened a little bit, like he saw or he overheard someone talking to me the other day, and I can tell like he's kind of looking and like thinking, you know. So he's still like, because he really didn't like me when I was blowing my nose. And it's not that I'm blowing. He probably got mistreated by his parents when he did something like that as a child. I really understand this. Like, it's not breaking my heart. They also come after me because, well, the main reason they come after me is because of the Holy Spirit, the light that God places in the believers. That's the main reason they come after me. But he probably was mistreated by his parents, and this is how he reacts. This is what he has learned. Anyways, then he's overhearing like someone else there saying, about talking about repairing bikes, and it's not that hard. And then he's kind of listening, softens a little bit. I can tell, because he was like real grumpy, and then it gets a little less. And then today he's watching, he's still kind of grumpy, but it's like a little less. So that's weird, and that'd be great, because I'm not going home and crying over this. I'm not. I would like for him to just be happy and like repent. That would be good. But and it doesn't bother me that much. Like, I'm actually trying. Like, this isn't walking on eggshells. Like, I'm actually trying not to blow my nose right next to him. I actually am, because that is a little. But it's a soup kitchen. Some people there just pee their pants. I'm just gonna say that's the truth. And maybe most don't. A few do, and that might have been an attack on me too, because I was eating. Yeah, they might piss their own pants to get me. I'm just gonna say, not all, but like there's a few when they're on drugs, they have trouble, and if they can't take a shower. Actually, they can't take a shower. The soup kitchen has a shower for people that aren't they don't like homeless people that don't have access to a shower. Can go to the soup kitchen and they will let them take a bath there. They've got towels and everything. So I would have liked to have known this last year, but God didn't have me going there. I still had some money left, so I didn't go to the soup kitchen. And actually, until I went, I didn't know they had a shower. You don't know. They don't really advertise that there's a shower. Like, I guess if you go and you read their website, it will state that, but I didn't know. I was asking where's a shower, and I got a gym membership, but now I'm more broke. Back then, I was still like kind of, I was like at zero. Now I'm in debt. So now I go to the soup kitchen. Anyways, let's see there. So that guy's kind of spying. So the bike man, I think he's an angel sent to help me. And so like whenever a spy comes, then he changes what he says, and he changes what he does. So then the guy that called me nasty was watching, and then he comes and he has two, they gave out little bowls of goldfish crackers, and so he brought two. While this man was watching, while the spy was watching, and he said, "You want one?" I'm like, no. And he's like, "Yeah, I had to try it." He said, "Hey, sorry, I had to try it." So because this is how they curse me. They give me something, then I'm cursed. So then he tried it. So this was in view of the spy. So the spy saw him trying to give me something, which is they recognize that's how they curse me. So it looked like he was trying to curse me to the spy. But the spy probably figured out that's not the case, and I said no. And then he's like, and he took it right away. He's like, "Sorry, I had to try. I had to try." Yeah, I wasn't taking it. I'm not taking their stuff. That's why, like, when the manager or something, he's like, do you want some more cookies? And he mentioned it like they had more up in the. I thought, go back in line and get some more. No, and then he like just plops them right off onto my tray. I'm like, shoot, he got me, and I wasn't even thinking. That's why certain things are supposed to happen. It's almost like autopilot. I don't have a chance to respond. Like, my mind doesn't even go there. So it's like certain things God has us go through. So it's teaching me to. There's certain things I go through, and it's not free will. Because it's supposed to happen. It's like a mission or a part of the ongoing mission. So it has to happen. So, like, my normal logic and reasoning is shut off, and then it just, like, goes on autopilot, and then I get cursed. Sometimes the curse, it has to happen. And this isn't the case for everyone. But for some people, they do have certain things they have to go through as a part of their specific life plan. Um, so, anyways, the spy, the nasty man, he saw the bike man try to curse me by giving me a bowl of goldfish crackers, which I rejected. Um, let's see here. And then, who I think is a good agent, looked at me again, turned and looked at me again. To me, and I said, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm kind of silly, I guess. Like, I got up, I didn't have enough sleep. They asked me questions. I don't answer it perfectly. I sound like a little awkward. I'm tired. I don't know. Like, I tried to explain it right, but it could have sounded better. Um, let's see. Oh, when we were out front. So, when I first got to the soup kitchen, Bike Man was out there. And he was talking to me about the bike and giving me the bike, and then it went to like charging me for the bike, and later I said to trade. There was another spy. The fisherman was out there, and he was spying. He was way back on the wheelchair ramp, so he wasn't right next to it. He's maybe like 10 feet back spying. And so then what the bike man says changes. I understand this right away, what he's doing. Like, he's saying one thing and then immediately changes, like, he's still talking, but then changes what he's saying to something that's nonsense. Like, like what an alcoholic or just some random person would say. Anyways, so he's not saying spiritual things in front of the spies. I understand. This is also how God will teach me things, just by observing. Um, let's see here. And like some stuff was mentioned, and like we just talked for a minute, and then something about like family came up. Like he mentioned something about his family, and I don't really remember because there was a spy there. So we were talking about the bikes, but then the spy came, the fisherman came, and then he didn't want it to look like he was just giving me stuff and helping me. So he just starts talking about random stuff. I think the holidays and his family. And so I asked him if he had kids, and he's got a few grown kids, and he doesn't see them or something. And then I mentioned, yeah, I've got a mine are grown, and I said based on who their father is, they picked their side. They picked their side. Basically letting him know, like, because he's not in contact with his children, and then I have grown children, I'm not in contact with mine. And this fisherman there was listening. The fisherman overhears, oh, based on who their father was, my children have picked a side with him, and like, maybe the fisherman, I'm kind of thinking, like, God sends these people in to observe. And so the fisherman possibly had a family and children that he's not in contact. I'm just guessing. Maybe because this is the one that was listening while this came up. So if the fisherman is spying, and then like, so the bike man saying like, he's got kids that are grown, he doesn't really talk to them. And I said, yeah, and I don't talk to mine. I said that they sided with their father, that type of thing. And he overhears this. And then something just asking, like, talking about, like, people and dating or something. Like, not him, but just something, I don't really even know. Just people, other people, not even dating me, but just other people. Like, the way people are out there, something came up, and, let's see, I don't know, because it wasn't asking me personally, and it wasn't about him personally. But something was mentioned, and it was just like this small talk while the spy was there, and then like about like the type of people that are out there now, and I said, yeah, and they're all compromised, and he said, what do you mean compromised? So he's trying to. He doesn't want me to say anything too spiritual in front of them. I'm understanding. Compromise doesn't need to be spiritual. So I said, yeah, and they're all compromised. And he says, what do you mean? You mean they're all gay? You mean they're all gay? and so this is while the spy is watching. And I said, yeah, I noticed that. Or they have multiple partners. Or they have multiple, I said, or they have multiple partners. Now, multiple partners might also be something like adultery, which is like idolatry in the Bible, which means they are not worshiping the one true living God. They are worshiping demons and fallen angels, like the enemies. So this was a roundabout way of saying when they're compromised, this is what I wanted to say in the first place. They're compromised, they're working for the kingdom of darkness. So then he said, what do you mean, they're gay? And I said, yeah, or they have multiple partners, which is like an analogy for idol worship, which is what the disbelievers are doing. The ones that are coming after me have spirits. So they are idol worshiping. They have their spirits and oh my gosh, they have their demons, and their demons are their idols. But actually, if you look at the Ten Commandments, and I think the worst sin is idol worship. I mean, I could be wrong, but like the golden calf and Moloch, and they ask to sacrifice the firstborn child or something. And well, I think you guys know idolatry. And so when I said compromised, and he's like, you mean gay? And I said, or multiple partners. Multiple partners was like idol worship in the Bible. So there was a lot of spies, and he said it'd be easier to do this bike thing at the library. And he said, just come like, and I said, how long will you be there? And because I don't know if he was walking or taking a bus or something. He said, let's hang out, like, and leave in 15 minutes or so. The agent's kind of facing the side, couple tables away from me. I think they're observing without looking. It's not obvious. They also observe and sit next to enemies. So maybe some of these enemies are working for the good people. They don't even know. And they're sent to test me and to make sure I'm ready. I don't know. But anyways, then I waited. I finished my coffee. And then I started walking to the library in about 15 minutes. And let's see. On the way, excuse me, while I'm walking to the library, there is a sign for a store, like a light up sign, and then they have messages on it. And so I noticed it. And it said 12:28, 21 degrees, 1/2/26. So that is the date, the temperature. Yeah, I don't know why this said. I think I copied what was on this sign, and this sign was for mental health and recovery services. So there was a building for mental health and recovery. They had a sign. So that's good to be recovered, to be healthy. But anyways, it said on that sign 12:28, 21 degrees, 1/2/26. So I added these up in my head earlier. Watch, I'll mess them up. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 on the date. 13, 14, 24, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29. So if I add them all up, it's like a 29, 9 plus 2, and this becomes an 11. And it has an 82 in there. Yeah, I really don't know. If you add all the numbers, it's an 11. And if you add just the date, it's an 11. Well, there's probably something else. There's probably something else, like, excuse me. I'm tired if you can't tell. I wanted to go to sleep a while ago. Let's see. So anyways, I walk to the library And when I get there, I've never been to the library. I've only walked past. I walk up, and then there's his bike right in front of the doors. And like I go on in, and I don't see him. So he was hiding, waiting for me to go in. This is all a plan. This is all a plan from God. I know right away. It's annoying. It's going to be a pain in the butt. It's going to be more trouble for me. And this is from God. God sending me on like missions. The missions are like normal things that people do. But then like they don't work. And I get blocked and it's a pain in the butt. Like, um, so anyways. He wasn't there. I looked around, so I went to the main desk, which was nearby, and I said, I want to make an account. What do I need to make an account? And so they took my ID and then made an account and told me all about the services. It was really nice. They even have like free um, genealogy reports, like for Ancestry, where you can find your ancestry for free there. And I was really interested in this, so I'm gonna do that. Not today, but later I'm going to do that. That was great. And then while I'm at the counter, the bike man comes up and then he like says blah blah blah, and I'm going to go do it, and he says something and then he leaves. I'm like, what? And I said I'm just going to get an account, and then he says, well, and then he says something. I can't understand what he said. He says I'm going to go do this or something, or I said I'm going to do this, and then he like goes out the door. Okay, I'm talking to the person at the counter a couple minutes. It's not that long. And then when I could have, and she said I could check 50 things out. I didn't check anything out today. I got too much to do right now. She said you can check out 50 things. You can check out movies. And she said kid stuff's on the second floor. You specifically mentioned kid stuff. And this is important because God showed me I'm going to have a kid. And she said I'm going to be 50 years old with a kid. Yeah, that's wonderful. But we're aging in reverse. Let's see. That was the genealogy thing. That was real exciting because Ancestry was sending this thing where it was real cheap to like get your DNA tested, and I was actually like interested in that, but I didn't want to give it to them. I never did because who knows what they do with your DNA. But anyways, like who knows what you sign up for. But they have free Ancestry reports there, and so. Then he was like, oh, that's good. And then he said something. And then when I was done talking to her, I went out hoping the bike would still be there. I could get that bike. So he said something like he was going to he had another bike and he was going to walk them both. And I'm like, anyways, then I go out front and the bike is gone. The bike is gone. I'm like, oh, just like a replay of last night. The bike is gone. It's gone, man. Not only is it gone, he's gone. And so, excuse me. Oh. Oh. Bike man and the bike is gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. I walk all around looking, waiting. I'm running out of time. It's going to be Sabbath. It's Sabbath now. So I need to go back to my house and ship, and he is gone. They surely know. They probably had one of their agents buy something from my store that had to ship that day. And I had to do it right now. It was after breakfast and before dinner. Because after dinner, there's not time to ship. So, there's a dog. So then I had to leave. I looked all around. He was gone. The bike was gone. I went back to my house. I shipped my package. Or I got my package ready, waited. And I was going to head out again. And Bike Man had told me his address before. So, let's see. When I got home, the dogs made a mess. I had a bag of trash I was going to throw away. I forgot, left it in the house. They ripped it up, got into everything, and made a mess all over. So I wasn't happy about that. And so I don't have a whole lot of time. It takes me like almost an hour to walk anywhere. So now I thought, I want to walk to the gym. And I thought, I'm going to walk to Bike Man's house. Which I am suspicious. I don't think he really lives. This is a house that's for sale. It's like abandoned or something. But I don't think he's living there. He was just saying that. This man is too clean, he's too well put together, and he also had some like probiotics or something that fell out of his bag. So, anyways, I know he's not, like, maybe he'll stay there if we make an appointment, but, anyways, so his house is on the way to the gym. So I thought, I'm going to go to his house, then the gym, then go back and hit the post office on the way to the soup kitchen. And it's just going to be, I'm going to be walking 10 miles today, just enough time. My whole day is walking, since I don't have a bicycle. Apparently this is another mission. Another mission. If anyone can do it, it's me. I never give up. I never have any help. I don't. I guess I don't want help, because then I don't need it, and then I would be a wuss. I don't know. I would like help, though. I would like it. Like, I can do it, but I don't have to, right? Yeah, I do, I guess. Anyways, I go to where he told me his house is. That he wants to buy this house. This house is, like, listed for real cheap. Now, I get to the house, I go, and one of the steps is, like, missing, and I can tell, like, a homeless person is staying there, but it's not Bikeman. It's not Bikeman. There's bottles of beer, and then there's a grocery cart just sitting there, and I go knock on the door, no one answers. No one answers. Bikeman's bike is not there. And I go around the side. There's like a 5-gallon or 10-gallon bucket like people used to take a shit. He's got, like, there's one of those. It's got a crack in the bottom, and it was just thrown in the backyard, so it's not being used. And then there's more alcohol bottles and, like, a cart. And there was also a bike behind the house. It was laying down on the ground, and it was dirty. So Bikeman's bikes are very clean. This was not Bikeman's house. This is a house that is for sale that probably no one owns. It's abandoned, I think. And there is a homeless person living there that is an alcoholic, and it is not Bikeman. I'm just going to say. Bikeman is not... Okay, he says he's staying there. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He has probiotics. He eats organic. I know he does. I'm not stupid. No, he eats other stuff too, but because we have missions. Like I was told to eat the food of the people. He's on a mission too. He was sent to the soup. He didn't even go to the soup kitchen. He started going, and then right away, like, oh, look at that bike waiting for me to come in. I was the mission. And then he said it multiple times now, or at least twice now. He said that he works for Jesus. He works for Jesus. Did you remember the Christ Army? You work for Jesus. Okay, I don't know what that means. Because, like, so many weird things happen in my life. Like, I don't know, what does this mean? Like, because I have heard that these, spirits reincarnate. They come back to Earth in different bodies. And I have seen this. I have seen this with the enemies. I have seen the spirit of Paul, Ahab, Jezebel. I've seen, like, the devil. I've seen these different characters. So, when Jesus can come to Earth, can be on Earth at all times, and it can be in different bodies. So I'm wondering, he says he works for Jesus. And it's like the bad guys are the good. I work for the good guys, the bad ones. Some of them, like the good guys do bad things to get to. I was talking about MK Ultra or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's see here. Bikeman was not here. He is too clean. He doesn't smell bad. He's not an alcoholic either. So whatever homeless man is staying at this house has a dirty bike, just one bike, and they drink alcohol. Bikeman never smells like alcohol, and I think he had probiotic tea in his bag. And his bikes are perfectly clean. And he says he got that bike out of the trash. Well, it's really nice and clean, actually. It's not super clean. Well, it looks pretty clean, though. It didn't come out of the garbage. Okay, I'm not stupid. But anyways, then I walked there, and then I left. I felt like I wasted my time. I knocked on the back door, too. Someone might have been there, but they were hiding. And it was not Bikeman. But he'll go back there later, I'm sure. He said, oh, I just mainly sleep there. Okay. I said, you got a roommate? You got a roommate? Um, so then I walked to the gym. And of course, like, I wanted to use the spa, and it was taking longer. Um, and it took me longer to leave the gym than I wanted, and I did use the massage. Um, and I just start walking, and I had to. Normally, this would have taken more time. I guess I was walking kind of quickly. And as I'm walking back, I decide to walk past the library just to make sure Bikeman's still not there. And he wasn't there. I thought in my head, maybe he'll be there and I can get the bike. Walk past the library, he wasn't there. Oh, this is what I forgot. This whole thing. Like, the neighbor couldn't help me with my bike the night before. And Bikeman, he had to leave, and then while I was in line, and when he said something I couldn't understand, and then he was gone. This was all a plan. This was a plan. I forgot to mention. I wrote this down too. And there's people watching and spying. So as I was walking to the gym, so I went to Bikeman's house, which is, he's not staying there. He's living somewhere else. But anyways, I was walking to the gym. Had I been on my bike, I would have not seen this. Had someone driven me, I would have not seen this. Right the way that I walked to the gym, there's just a letter in the middle of the sidewalk. It's on top of the snow, so you can't really see it. If I was on a bike, I would not have seen it. There's never a letter sitting in the snow. No reason for this at all. There's no reason for this. And I walk past the letter, and the letter is like clean, like it was from that day. And then I got a few feet past it, like 5 feet past it or something. I turn around and I look at it because it's face down. And then I'm like, that's probably a message. That's probably a message for me. And so I go back and I pick up that letter. You know what? It was a message for me. It was a message for me. And I didn't open it up, and I don't know what that message is yet. But my goodness, that letter, it had a 77. Like, there's a bunch of numbers on it. Over to the side is a 77. There's a 17. There's another 82. And then you add up the numbers, it has 7s and 17s. Like, every number on there is like a 7, 17, and then there's an 82, and then there's a 77 over here. I'm like, this is a message from God, and this is why I couldn't have a bike yet. I went to Bikeman's house, and then after that, I went my normal route to the gym, and I had to be walking, or I would not have seen this piece of mail. I have gone this way this is the only time I have ever seen. It was like a brand new clean envelope just laying in the middle of the sidewalk, and I picked it up. And there might be a message for me on that envelope. I think there is. Like, it's a real piece of mail for someone else. But what's on that, I believe, is a message for me. But anyways, I didn't open it or anything yet. I just have it in my bag now. Let's see here. I almost feel like we're in a video game, or I'm in a video game and I'm playing and I'm getting points and leveling up or something. I don't know how this works. I had to change to tennis shoes today, and then a little snow gets in my shoes. I was getting a blister from my boots, and then just trying to go back and forth between different shoes. It was nice at the library that they told me that there's free internet there too. I wrote this down. Free internet, so that if my internet goes down and I need to contact someone, I can go there. So I think this is a part of the mission for Bikeman. He asked if I ever went to the library for anything. They know I don't have an account there, and I might need it. There's probably resources and things I need there, and I can do genealogy and stuff. So he brought me there and wasn't there, and here's the place to sign up, so that I would get an account and they would tell me how it works. I understand. That was the mission, that he's gone. And then I have to walk to the gym. And on the way of my walking to the gym, I find a conveniently placed letter, which is probably a junk mail, I don't know. But it's got a message for me in it. And, let's see. I also see, as I'm going through this neighborhood, I see, two Amazon Prime vans, delivery trucks. And one of the first one I saw, the number on it was 16. 1 plus 6 is a 7. And then the next one I saw as I'm walking back like a couple blocks away, one has the number 444125. And I guess a 5 and 2 is a 7, and then there's 1. That number adds up to probably a 20, so that's not significant. But you could make 17s two ways. Let's see. Well, it's a 7, a 1, and a 7. Anyways. Um, oh, I was going to say, on my way to the gym, I wouldn't have had time to go to the post office separately because I had to walk so far. And I would if I didn't stop at Bikeman's house. I was hoping he would be there so I could get the bicycle. I wanted the bicycle. I'm like, if he's there, then I can get the bike and I can make it in time. He wasn't there. So anyways, I leave Bikeman's house and I'm walking down this major road towards the gym. This is before I go in the subdivision. And then there is a post office, a USPS guy, just walking, and I'm like, oh, great, and I run up to him, and I'm like, oh, could you take a package? Because I got my bag, and I got a little package in there. And he said, it depends, and I said, and I pull it out, and I'm like, it's already paid for, it's just a little thing. If it was something huge, and I had to pay for postage, understand. He's just walking, and he's like, oh, and I can do the tracking right now. I'm like, oh, God bless you, thank you, and then I keep going. If this didn't happen, I would have been late. This was a blessing from the Lord. But, I'm kind of sore from, like, all this walking today. I think, like, I didn't want to be a fat ass, so I think that God let a few things happen so I could maybe get in a little better shape because I got a little bit fat eating too much stuff at the soup kitchen and that food is not healthy. Like it's healthy, it's just got GMOs. I didn't eat GMOs for a long time. So when I started eating this food, that I was like getting cellulite. And so even though I'm still small and pretty fit, it's like I look fit, but I have cellulite and I'm bloated, like from eating GMOs. So anyways, God had me like walking 10 miles for 2 days. And then, what else? God had me doing a lot of walking and exercise. And then the curse later today, I didn't get a bag of chips. I wanted another one. So, see, God didn't want me to be a fat ass. So that's why that curse stood. Let's see here. Oh, as I was walking to the soup kitchen for dinner, there's the hospital. There's a hospital like a block from my house. And then I was passing that to go to the soup kitchen. And I go up the hill, and then there's just a woman standing there. And I'm just like, when I see people randomly standing there, then I'll say something. Like, cause it looks appropriate. Like, if somebody's just standing, not saying anything, it's like they're waiting for me to come up to them. It's weird. I can tell. And she was just standing there, and then I'm like, is she going to get in that vehicle? No, she just kept standing there. She didn't cross the road. I'm like, okay, well, I'll say something to her. And maybe she was just getting off work. And I said, they got free dinner at the soup kitchen at 4:30, and it was like 4:16 at that point. I'm like trying to rush. It's like more of a 40-minute walk to get here. At this point, like I've got like 15 minutes to get there on the 40-minute walk. I'm going. And then, so there's a woman standing there, like she's dressed well. She's come out of the hospital. She's likely an employee. And she's just standing there on the sidewalk, like just waiting. And then I walk past, and then I turn around and I say, oh, and just to let you know, there's free dinner at the soup kitchen at 4:30. And then she looks at me, and she is like revolted. You say revolted, repulsed? Like she's revolted, like she's like, ugh. Like she's like, I can't, I've never seen anything like this. So, I guess I had my coat on that looks a little bit like a hobo coat, and then I have this hat with the ear flaps on. I don't know. I didn't think I looked that bad. But anyways, and I turn around, and like, there's a free dinner. I was letting her know she's leaving now. She could go get a free dinner too. And I'm also like thinking, if somebody's gonna give me a ride, then they'll give me. I was like, God, if somebody's gonna give me a ride, they'll give me a ride. This woman's just standing there in the middle of the sidewalk doing nothing. So I turned around and I told her, there's a free. Just to let you know, there's a free dinner at the soup kitchen at 4:30. And then she looks at me and she's like, I can't even, I have never seen an expression like this before. She's like kind of like this, like, oh, thank you. It was hilarious, but I've never seen anyone look at me like they were grossed out, like she wanted to throw up because she looked at me. Because I guess, like, my outfit was low class, and I said that the food was at the soup kitchen, and she's like, um, no, I don't mean to look silly. I'm not trying to look silly, because she didn't have a silly look on her face. She's like, oh, oh, thank you. Like, I don't know. Something like, oh, thanks. like, like, like I was scum. Like I was filth. Like that's what the way she looked at me. But she was also said thank you. Like, oh, thank you. Anyways, I might blur out some of those that didn't look right, but it was like the last one, like, but more exaggerated. So, wow, that's how. And actually, like last week, a week or two ago, I was walking by. Or no, this is last week when my bike got locked at the post office and I didn't have my key. Um, So then I saw some people coming out after closing, and I thought maybe they were employees. And I was going to go tell them, if my bike was still there, like, and I was trying to make a note or put something on it that I'm coming back, and it'd be like an hour, half hour or something, an hour, before I could get it. And then I see her and someone else. There's two people, and they're coming out, and then they just stay in there for a minute. And so then I walk up the steps toward them, because I thought maybe they were employees, and I was going to mention about my bike. I'm like, now I just got to get my key and I'll be back for it. And then the door opens and the woman is like, "Oh, you scared me. You scared me." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize. I thought no one was afraid of me ever in my entire life." And so I didn't even think about it. So I went and I don't look scary. I don't look scary, but I guess the way I dress now, I look kind of like the people at the soup kitchen. I look kind of like I dress like I could be a homeless. And I scare. I guess this woman said she was afraid. She was with a man. She wasn't alone. And they were coming out. I'm like, "Oh, maybe they work there. I'm going to go." And then she's like, "You scared me. You scared me." And like, that was surprising because I don't think I mean, knowingly, I don't think I've ever scared. Nobody looks at me and they're like afraid, but I guess now they do. Anyways, this woman today was like, "Oh, thank you." Like at the thought of me who looks kind of like I'm homeless and then going to the soup kitchen. So anyways, I'm gonna crop out some of the rest of that because the facial expression wasn't right. I tried to do it, but then even then I can't really do it because like the way her face looked, it was much more expressive. I don't know how to say, like she had lighter eyes, and just like the way she contorted her face, it was, I've never seen such a thing. So I want to get rid of the ones that don't represent it as well. Let's see. As I'm walking to the soup kitchen, I walk past the church where that old woman was staying and asked if she wanted me to pray for something, and she prayed, or she wanted me to pray that she would have housing soon. Well, I didn't see her today, and I didn't see her the last time I walked past there, and I didn't see her there on Sunday either. So maybe that prayer worked and she got housing. I hope so. I hope maybe that's not the hospital, and I hope she's not dead. No. I trust God will take care of this. God will restore her. So maybe she's been restored. I don't know. But maybe that's what, because I've walked past her several times and I have not seen her. So maybe she did get the housing. Um, um, so anyways, I went from the gym. It took longer at the gym because like stuff wasn't ready. And then I leave and I start walking, and I walk past the library. Bikeman's not there. And I walk past where the old woman was staying. Old woman's not there. I walk past the woman at the hospital, and she's like, yeah, like that. And then I keep walking, and I'm walking real fast, and I'm looking at my watch, and I think my watch is set a minute fast or something. So basically, I'm walking and I'm walking, like no one's offering me a ride, nothing. This is like God, like stopping, like nobody would. They would look at me and think that they'd be afraid of me now. People are afraid of me now. I don't know. I'm scary now. Anyway, so I got to the soup kitchen and I walked straight in. And then there wasn't very many people there, and the good agent, who I believe is a good agent, turned around and he had a big smile on my face. He had not my face. He had a big smile on his face, and he was proud. And he said, "You made it just in time. They just did the prayer. That's when you stand up to get in line." So I was maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute late or something, or right on time. He said, "You were right on time. I walk, the door's open, I come in, right on time." And he's like, "You were right on time. Right on time, right as they're serving the food." I didn't miss it. And he knew. He must have known. He might be involved with Bikeman, or he knows what Bikeman's up to. That I went to the library, and I went to Bikeman's house, and I went to the gym, and I had a package to ship, and then I came back, and I made it and I didn't have a car, and I didn't have a bike. I walked in the door right as they got up to get in line. He was like proud. He was proud of it. I said, "God, order my steps this day." During my prayer this morning. And so he was proud, and then I was happy too. I was like happy. Because I didn't know this was some mission. I just thought, this is another pain in the ass thing it's another day. It's another pain in the ass thing I gotta put up with until I'm restored. But then I guess this was a mission to see, can I do it? Of course I can. I can always do it. No one else can. I guess. I like thinking of like David, little David in the David and Goliath, or was that King David? Anyways, little David was not afraid of the giants. I don't want to mess anything up. I think it's the same David, and that's what I'm talking about. I thought I'm little me, and I do the stuff no one else can do. It doesn't make sense. You should be able to do it just as well, but they don't. They don't. So anyways, real happy. And then it got into line, and just in a good mood, and they had chips, and they had pop, but they had hot dogs. And then the long blonde-haired guy goes to put one in my tray, and I said, "Oh, is that pork?" And he asked the other one, "Is that pork?" And probably. And then he takes it back. And then they give me 2 soups. It is cheese broccoli soup. It was great. I liked it. It was a little chunky, but it tasted good. So I was glad with that. And then they gave us pop, too. So it was Diet Mountain Dew. The regular Mountain Dew does not get donated. Only Diet Mountain Dew gets donated, just to let you know. They had Diet Root Beer, too. So the regular people buy, but the Diet gets donated to the soup kitchen. That's just, don't buy Diet. Apparently it's not as good. I don't know. I liked it, though. God told me, I believe God told me to eat the food of the people. It has to be, because this is a mission. If I wasn't eating the food of the people, I wouldn't be going to the soup kitchen. And if I hadn't been eating organic or non-GMO all those years before, I'd be too unhealthy to do this mission now. Because as soon as I start eating this food at the soup kitchen, I'm getting cellulite, do this for 10 years, what kind of diabetes and asthma, and I don't know, what kind of health problems are you going to have? I mean, but I've been eating, I tried to eat healthy all those years, so, a year or 2 is not going to kill me. And so this is, all planned out and timed. Anyways, they gave me extra soup, and then I went around the side, and there was bread, and then there was, some dessert things, and it was like the mama cat was under a spell and under the blonde hair man's control or something. It's so weird. It's almost it makes me think of Sailor Moon as being real. I made a video about this, and this is really, the more that I am alive and experiencing things since God, woke me up, Sailor Moon is based on I already knew it was based on a true story, and she's the Messiah or something. But anyways, just the way that the enemies, the demons come and they drain the energy, and then the people are tired, sleeping like zombies or something. That's what they do. And when somebody's under a spell, this is what they actually look like. And I don't know if they look like that to other people. Maybe they're all under a spell. But anyways, this wasn't a big deal. But then as I went through the line to begin with, they had the regular sporks, which is a spoon fork. And then they had a couple bags of the forks with a big napkin. And so I took 2 of the bags with a fork and a napkin. They knew I was going to take this. I took it so I could blow my nose. They knew I was going to take that one. And so I figured a fork's fine. A fork's always fine. I got 2 baggies with a fork and a napkin so I can blow my nose. And then I went through and then, oh, it's soup. So then after I get my food, I'm in a great mood. I got a soda. I got the cheese soup. And then she's like, oh, it's not very much. And they give me more. But then I needed a spoon. Whenever somebody gives me something, it is a curse. Now, actually, as I went into the soup kitchen, bikeman told me he crashed on his bike, and he showed me a red spot right here, where, like, because he had 2 bikes at the same time. He crashed, and apparently the bike hit him right here, and that's not good. That's not good. But, like, he I guess, was going to get his bike and come back, but this is all a setup and a plan. That's what they say. But he knew he was waiting out of view until I got into line. And then while I'm talking to the teller, or the clerk, then he comes out. And then he says something and runs away. They know what they're doing. I'm not stupid. And then I go out and look, and he's gone. And I wait for a few minutes. He's gone. Okay, and then I thought, if he's going to his house, then I'll just go to his house. I went to his house. He wasn't there. So this was a plan. Oh, geez, what am I even talking about here? I'm going to look at this thing again. The curse. So I need a spoon. I've got a soup, and I've got a bag with 2 forks and no spoon. They knew this. And I went back, and there's kind of a line. And then I try to get up just to the spoons. I'm like, excuse me, I want to get a spoon. I want to get one. I was just going to grab one. I saw someone do this a couple days before. They just went up and they'll grab a spoon and then leave. No, they didn't. Then the teenage girl who was like the granddaughter, I think the granddaughter of the grandfather, and he said, they're not my kids. Yeah, they're all working for the other team. Well, then instead of letting me just get one, I was just going to grab one real quick and go. This is what everyone does. When somebody wants one, no one hands one. You just go up and grab it, and they let you get it. They don't care. They just go up to, because right at the start of the line is where the spoons are. So if you forget one, then you just go up and, like, it's not ditching because you're not getting food. You just go up and grab a spoon, and then you go. And I was going to do what everyone else does, but then this teenage girl grabs a spork, turns around, and hands it to me. And they're, like, crowding in, so I couldn't get past. And so I basically had to take it. It would have been very offensive and rude not to. So, like, this was another thing. Why did God allow this attack on me? So anyways, I take it, and then I turn around, and I say, I remove the curse, and return to sender. I don't say it like loud. It's kind of like so you wouldn't notice. And then I was hoping this would work. Maybe it is return to sender. I don't know. But I got cursed. So they called seconds, and they had these dill pickle potato chips that I really like. I was going to get another one. There was multiples of them up there. They called seconds, and I went through the line, and there was only hot chips left, which I don't like. So all the pickle chips were gone, and it was only spicy chips that are like burn your mouth up. I don't want that. And so then I went through, and I got the other stuff, but I didn't get the chips. And then the girl who had cursed me, she gave me the spork. She had cursed me. This is how it works. Bikeman knows this too. Bikeman knows. That's why when he did this in front of a spy to make it look like he wasn't on my side. So, anyways, so the curse was, and then I sat down, and they're right at the table in front of me where I can see them. And I went through the line hoping to get another bag of pickle chips. I was looking forward to this. They sell them at Dollar Tree, which I now boycott. And they also sell them at Walmart for like a $2.50, but I'm not spending any money. So I got one bag my first go around. I was hoping to get another one. And then Mama Cat comes out, and she's got all these bags of chips. She's got like 4 bags of chips. She's handing them to these teenagers. And then they're like, oh, thank you. And then she didn't give one to me. She's like under a spell. So the curse was that when I went to get seconds, the type of chips I like were gone. And then Mama Cat came out and gave the chips to the teenagers. And the teenage girl was the one who cursed me. They also offered me a ride at the end too, but anyways. But, I was thinking, why would God allow this? Because it's supposed to be the end of their attacks. Well, God had me walk like 10 miles for a couple of days, and now I get one bag of chips instead of two. Maybe God is saying I'm a fat ass. And I actually asked, like, God, I don't want to be a fat ass. Like I said, so this might be answering my prayer. That might be answering my own prayer. They cursed me in a way that actually helped me because I didn't need to eat 2 bags of chips, actually. I ate one this evening. But I did get another pop. I'm going to go get... Okay, so what happened next? So they cursed me. And then bikeman mentioned about falling. He probably was cursed. Anyways, he actually said later, like, we went outside and the bike was there and I was happy. There's the bike. I'm like, the bike's here and the bike works? He's like, yeah. The bike's outside. It's here. I said, I get the bike? Because he said something like, there's a bike and I was tired of carrying this around. I was going to give it to somebody else. I'm like, but the bike is here and the bike works? He's like, yes. I asked several times. I'm like, yes. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So then we're just outside talking for a minute. And then I mentioned, I think I got cursed. I said, I think I got cursed. He said, I think I did too. I think I did too. And he said, he said, he thinks they're jealous they're jealous of our gifts. And that's why they do it. So, thank you for confirming that. Because I was wondering, like, are these people possessed? Are spirits working through them and they don't know? Do they know what they're doing? So he basically told me, like, they're jealous of our gifts. They know what yeah, like, sometimes they know what they're doing. But sometimes, like, something happens where I really don't know if they're aware. So he basically said, they are jealous. They do it. So I didn't get 2 bags of chips. But actually, when it was time to go, then that family there with the teenagers and they overheard, like, I said something like I had to walk. So I said, like, I've been walking 10 miles a day, or I've been walking 10 miles. And then the grandpa turned around and he's like, oh, you're walking? We can give you a ride. I'm sitting across from bikeman, and I said, well, thank you for offering. I think I have another way to get home this evening, but maybe some other time. They were trying to give me a ride. Who knows what could have happened on this ride? More people want to know where I live. They find out where I live. They can't do anything. They look at my house is scary looking. I have a beautiful house, but on the outside, when I was dropped off by the volunteer with or actually he's probably a paid employee with the man with the long blonde hair and Mama Cat. Then they were there, dropped me off. They saw my house. He's like, oh, you live there? And you live there? He didn't say it like that. But he's like, oh, you live there? Guess they weren't jealous. I don't think, they were not jealous when they saw my house. They saw my house, and then they did not complain about me coming to the soup kitchen. And then maybe they're like, I don't need to do anything to that house. Because if you look at the outside, like, it looks like a haunted house or something. Like, it's, most of the paint is chipped off, and then there's a part of the bottom that's painted, and it's got rickety, like, 100-year-old windows, and it just looks real shabby, and it looks kind of scary. So, and there's, like, the covered porch has got planks falling down. And so and then also, like, the walkway and everything is crumbly. So they saw my house, and they're like, oh, that's where you live. Not like that. They said it normal. They're like, that's where you live? Like, that's where you live? I don't want to say it wrong. They just said it normal. But what I'm saying is, they said it normal, but they were not jealous. Or, it wasn't really Mama Cat, because she was, like, under a spell. So the man with the long blonde hair, he wasn't jealous when he saw my house. And he wasn't angry when he saw my house. That's good. Yeah, they saw my house, and they're like, okay, I don't have any problem here. Yeah, I don't have to destroy your house, because the condition of your house is already acceptable to me. So anyways, they offered to give me a ride. I'm sitting across from bikeman, and I said, well, thank you. I think I have another way to get home today, but maybe some other time. And he knows. He knows what's going on. He knows they're an enemy. And he saw how I handled it. Okay. And when I mentioned him being cursed, he thought him too, and then he had that red spot. So, um, let's see here. Um, there is more. It is not over yet. So, managed to get outside. The curse wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. There's the bike. I'm like, I get the bike. I have the bike, and then I get the bike, and it looked really nice until I went to use it. Like, and there's nothing, and it rides right. Yeah, said there was nothing wrong with it. And then when I'm out there to get the bike, and he's like, "Oh, the brakes don't work. The brakes had been taken apart." I said the brakes don't work at all, and the seat was way up high. The seat, he actually lowered it. He lowered the seat down. So he lowered it all the way. I said, "You gotta lower the seat or he starts lowering the seat. So the seat was up high, and I said, the seat needs lowered. I said, is the seat lower? And I start to push it down, and then he pushes it down, and it's still up some way, and I said, it's got to go all the way down. And then I get on the bike, and I'm like, oh, this is okay. And then he's like, no, I should have listened to you. It's got to go down. Yeah, my other bike, the seat is all the way down. So he said, I thought the seat would be higher because of how tall you are. Like, and that's what I said. This is what I said. I said, yeah, I look taller than I actually am. This is a strange thing. I look taller than I actually am. And I said, like, when I'm with people about 5'10", my perspective, it looks like I'm the same height and we're looking eye to eye, but I'm only 5'1". This is something God has done within the last 2 years. And so he thought he looked at me, and we're like kind of eye level here. So I thought I've gotten taller, other people have gotten shorter. But I'm like seeing through my spirit body. And my spirit body is larger than my human body. So it's such a weird thing. And then it's like, oh, I thought you were taller than that. Because, like, I said, yeah, that's a strange thing. I look taller than I am. And see, he's got like his spiritual gifts. I actually believe he probably is telling the truth, just because, but maybe some of it's exaggerated. But he's on some mission, and I was not supposed to get the bike right then. I was to get it later. And then he said it works and it's ready to go. And then I get on the bike. There's no brakes, and the seat is up high, and the seat is going like this. Like, when you sit on it and it teeter-totters. So then there's no brakes. So there's no brakes, so you can stop it with your feet, right? Like, yeah, I can do that. So I look at it there's no brakes. The brakes are open, and the strings are, like, the metal wires are off of the brakes. And I look at it like, like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. And then you had to push the seat down all the way more. And then the seat starts to pop off, and I'm like, the seat's coming off, and you gotta snap it on to one side. So anyways, the bike looked good. The bike had no brakes, and the seat was going like this. And then it was also too high. And that was not fun. So I start biking on it. It's got fat tire, but it was slippery too. Where my other bike could have handled it, this one, it started to slide. Like, so then I just start biking, and I'm going slow. There's snow on the ground. There's ice on the ground. There's no brakes on this thing. And it's rickety. But anyways, it was fine. It actually was easier to pedal, though, than my other bike for some reason. I don't understand. But anyways, I was pedaling home. And I did, like, halfway through, I think I prayed to God, or just asked God will protect me. Whenever it's dangerous, I say, God will protect me. Or something like that. And so then I'm biking, and then there's a point, you can't bike on the sidewalk, because the sidewalk's covered in snow. And this bike is slippery on the snow. So then as I get onto my road, then I'm on the road, and it's dark, and I have no lights on this. And I'm going slow. Like, I have no brakes on this thing. I'm going slow on the road. There's a big line of cars behind me. And I know they're all pissed off. I saw two of them. Two of them zoomed around me. I know, I was going really slow. This was very I never do this. But the sidewalks were all covered in snow. This bike has no brakes on it. And it's like weird because the handles are low. And it just was not the right shape for me or something. And so I'm kind of like this. Like, just, I'm not afraid. But I'm not going to like as soon as I got on it and then I go up on the sidewalk, it starts to slip like it's going to fall. So at that point, I'm being really careful. It wouldn't be the same if there wasn't snow and ice. And I don't want to slip and fall in the road. The two cars zip around me. There's a big line of cars behind, like 6 cars behind me. And they're waiting. And then I turn into my driveway. I finally made it home. I was going real slow. Made it home, get in my driveway, and they all go. And I saw there was a cop. There was a cop in that, like, towards the end of that. Like, maybe one back from the end or something. So there was a row of like 6 cars behind me, and like the second to the last one was a cop. So none of them could run me over. They were all like being very polite. No one flipped me off. No one honked at me. No one tried to run me off the road because there was a cop. And this is what had to be. If you would have seen the condition of this bike. So anyways, then I get home and I see that I had a text message last night from my neighbor who was late. He took like 45 minutes to come over to my house. And then I texted him, and then I left, and I didn't look at it again until the next day. Then I saw it, like, and he said he was sorry and that, he would fix it for free. And then, so I'm home now. He comes right over. He's like right in my garage right away. And then he even calls me, and he's like, I'm out here. I'm like, oh, I'm getting my shoes on. I'll be right out. Like, he was so fast. And I was going to change from my tennis shoes to my boots because this is dirty out there. And then he's already out there, and he's like trying really hard to fix it. Like, he's slamming stuff around, and like he's got the bike upside down, and he just moving quickly. I don't know what's going on. He is trying to fix it, but it's dim. It's like kind of dark in my garage, and like I had already put the nuts and stuff on, but it just wasn't lining up right, and I didn't know how it was supposed to go on the frame. I thought I put them in the right order. And then he looks at it. He's fixed bikes before. I think he's worked on cars and bikes. And then he comes over. It's not that easy. Because then he was kind of confused. He didn't know how to do it. And he was trying. He was trying to get this wheel on for like 5-10 minutes. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it and holding the light and stuff. And it was kind of dark. And he's like, you got any tools? I had basic tools. Like, no, I don't have any other tools. So then he's like, I'm going to come first thing tomorrow. I'm going to come over here. He's going to fix. So tomorrow he's going to bring his tools over. And when we have some daylight, fix the bike, get the bike tire back on. That's what I mean. I'm not incompetent. This thing didn't make sense. I tried to take the gears off because I was going to put them on the other tire. Then I get down to the bottom of it and I need some special tool. So then I try to put it back together and it's not going back together right. And so here's someone that like he does this type of thing and he's having trouble with it. So he's going to come over tomorrow. He's really helpful. Well, here's the junk bike. And I could have taken the tire off this and put it on my other. But I thought like that tire is now fixed. I paid my $5 and I had a new inner tube put in that. So I'd rather have 2 bikes. Well, I'm going to give this one back to him. I said when I get one from the Wheelhouse. It's his charity. So when they get me a bike, I'm giving him his bike back because I really like the look of it and stuff. But like basically what I did is I like ran the brake lines and I adjusted the seat. So the seat was going like this, but the bolts to hold the seat on were all rusted and like missing parts of it. So I got a wrench and I can only get on there's like a part of a nut there. So it's like all rusted and there's parts of it I think broken off. So then I tried really hard and I tightened it. And of course I like hurt myself. You see I've got like I scraped my hand a little bit. But then I tightened it enough that it's actually staying pretty flat. And then I had to keep going over the brake lines. And then I got them so that it kind of breaks now. It kind of breaks now. It kind of breaks. But the thing is, like, then the lines will come back out. So, like, I fixed it the first time, then the line comes out because it twists. And then I had to put it back in and do it all over again. And then I put a zip tie around it to keep the... So, it's like missing parts, I guess. Like, you put the line in and there's something that goes over it to cover that hole it's missing. So, I put a zip tie on each one. It kind of breaks right now. And the seat's not going like... So, the seat's the right height. Now the seat's pretty stable and the brakes work a little bit. So I'm going to bike this down. They've got a free breakfast in the morning. I'm going to bike this down there. And so I probably should have walked this last night, but I didn't. I didn't. I biked it. I biked it with no brakes, no ice and snow on the road. It was not smart. No, it was fine. God protects me. Um, but I really was going slow. I actually did not want to fall. I did not I did not feel safe on that bicycle. But actually, now that it has brakes, I think I might be able to use it a little bit. But the thing is, like, it's so rickety and the brake lines are old, and like the components, like the hand brakes, they're like missing parts, and because of that, it could stop working at any time. Like what I did, it's working right now. But I don't know. If I bike one day, maybe it'll break again. And so it's not reliable. But hopefully this will last me until I have another solution. And I already told bikeman, like, when I get the other one, I can give you this one back. And then I've got the other Pashley. The Pashley out in the garage, someone popped the tire on that. And, I could bring that over to his house. We made plans to bring that. I was going to bring that over there at a specific time. So he works on bikes and he can fix it. So yeah, as I said, this one's like a little bit out of my pay grade. Like you got to take the frame apart to get to the wheel. So it's not like the one I have out in the garage. That wheel's not going back on. But this one, you got to like take the frame apart. It's got like a gear cover. It's made in Europe, so there's this thing that covers the gears so they don't snag your clothing. It's really nice. But when you have to replace the tire, you have to take that off, and it's a little complicated. So I was going to send that over there. Maybe he'll be able to fix it. um, but anyways, I spent like an hour or so. I brought this in the house. It had snow all over the tires. It melted all over my floor. It made a mess. It wasn't going well. What should have been pretty simple with the brake lines was very difficult because the lines are very old. Of course, greasy and dirty. Not as bad as the one in the garage, but like because they're old and like the hand brakes are kind of broken and like they're twisted the wrong way and like I think missing pieces. Then like I got it to work, but it could, hit a bump the wrong way. Maybe it'll come off again. I don't know. But my neighbor said he's gonna be tomorrow morning helping me get that tire back on. My good bike should be back up and running. We'll see. And if it is, I'm probably not going to ride that one to the soup kitchen, but I will ride that one to the gym. So maybe if I have two bikes, I can take the crappy bike to the soup kitchen, and I can take the good bike to the gym. A lot has happened today, obviously. I wanted to go to sleep more than an hour ago. I decided, okay, I looked at my phone, and my phone had the time on it, like a couple minutes ago. Okay, not couple, like 10 minutes ago. So I looked at my phone at the time twice. The first time I looked at my phone and saw the time was 1:07. I wasn't looking at it before then. I looked at my phone, which is right there, once, and it said 1:07. Then I looked at it right now. It said 1:19. 19 is significant to me, and 1:07 is a 17. So just stuff like that. I gotta go look at my mail again and see. So I'm gonna try to get me some free breakfast. And the neighbor, he was so nice too. Like he's slamming the stuff around, like just grabbing dirty stuff. But he's really trying hard to get this thing. He's trying to quickly get my tire on, and it's just not going. He needs daylight and he needs some tools. Like this is not a simple thing. Like a lot of the wheels just have 2 nuts on each side. This one's got like 3 or 4 on each side. And then you got to do them in just the right way so it fits on the frame. It's weird. This is not something as simple as it should be. So anyways, but he said he's worked on him. He's going to get it fixed tomorrow. It was really nice. And then he's just made it really clear. I'm going to be here first thing. So that was amazing. That was amazing. Maybe he's heard some things. Maybe he knows some other people at the soup kitchen. I think he does. Because he sat and he observed while Paul of Tarsus and the scammers, his friends, the infiltrators were brought into my home. He didn't say anything until after the fact. He watched. So now he's being very, very help. We'll see if it gets done. We'll see if he fixes it. I think he will. I think he will. This is my winning season. Now he was trying to be overly generous and like, yeah, hey neighbor, I'll do it for free. And I said, I'm home now. He's like, great, I'll be right over. Not like that. He didn't say it like that. But he says, yeah, I'll be right. I'm in your garage now. Yeah, maybe it is my winning season. So I don't know. I can't tell what will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. It sounded promising this evening, and that's all I can say. Thanks for watching. God bless you.